Hi, today we're going to read a fun story that has lots of homophones in it. Now, you just might be saying, what is a homophone? Well, let me tell you. A homophone is when you have two or more words that sound exactly the same, but they're spelled differently and have different meanings. For example, our book today is called Dear, Dear, and it's written by Jean Baretta. Now, this dear, D-E-A-R, is talking about something that is close to your heart or very special to you. And this kind of a deer, D-E-E-R, is talking about the animal. So you see we have the same sounding word, but it's spelled two different ways with two different meanings. Dear, dear. It's a letter between Aunt and her niece, Dear. Now don't tell me how that's possible, but there we go. Okay, here we go. Dear, dear, I now live at the zoo. Wait until you hear what goes on over here. Love, Aunt. Now this kind of an aunt, A-U-N-T, is talking about the sister of your mother or your father. And this kind of an ant, A-N-T, is talking about the insect that walks around on the ground. The moose loves moose. He ate 8 bowls. Now this kind of a moose, M-O-O-S-E, is the animal. And this kind of a moose, M-O-U-S-S-E, is talking about this kind of a dessert. It's kind of a light and airy dessert that's really nice and flavorful. And this kind of an ate, A-T-E, is when you eat. It's the past tense of eat. And then this kind of ate, E-I-G-H-T, is the number. See those number of bowls? It's the number between 7 and 9. Have you seen the ewe? She's been in a daze for days. Now this kind of ewe is ewe, Y-O-U. And this type of a ewe is E-W-E. It's a female sheep. And this type of daze, D-A-Z-E, is like when you're looking off into the distance and you're not really looking at anything. And D-A-Y-S is more than one day. That's him, the horse, who is hoarse from humming a hymn. Now, this kind of hymn is a, talking about whether you're a boy or a girl. It's a proper, not a proper noun, it's a pronoun. And this type of horse, H-O-R-S-E, is talking about the animal. This horse, H-O-A-R-S-E, is when your voice is scratchy and you can't hear or you can't speak very well. And this hymn, H-Y-M-N, is the type of a song that people used to sing a lot in church. We don't sing them as much anymore today, but people still do sing hymns. It's quite a feat when the bat hangs from his feet. This type of feat, F-E-A-T, is when you're talking about doing something that's kind of difficult to do. It's quite an accomplishment when you can do it. And this type of feat, F-E-E-T, is the things that you walk around on. The monkey will tell you a tale as he hangs from his tail. Now this type of a tale, T-A-L-E, is a story. And this is the tail that the monkey hangs from, T-A-I-L, right over there. The doe needed the dough because she needed the dough. Well, what are we talking about here? The doe, D-O-E, is talking about a deer, a female deer. Have you heard the song? Doe, a deer, a female deer. That's the kind of doe they're talking about there. And needed Kneaded, is when you work some dough like bread or pizza dough before it's cooked, before it becomes bread or crust. That's what we call that, dough. And this kneaded, Needed, is the past tense for something that you need, that you have to have, something that you must have. And then this type of dough, Dough, is that type of thing that we call with the bread or the pizza crust before it's cooked. It's when you mix flour and water and yeast together to get that. The toad was towed to the top of the seesaw so he could see the sea. This type of toad, Toad, is your toad right here. You see toads all over, don't you? And this type of toad, Towed, is when you pull something. He was towed with this little truck over here. You pull something from one place to another. And then this type of See, See, is what you do with your eyes. It's the sense that you use your eyes with. And then this See, Sea, is the ocean. The whale was allowed to wail aloud. This type of whale, Whale, is the animal, the mammal, the big mammal that lives in the ocean that looks like a fish. And this type of whale, Wail, is when you're crying loudly, ah, that type of thing. This allowed, Allowed, is when you have permission to do something. And this type of allowed, Aloud, is when you do something that you can hear, or say something or a sound that you can hear. It's allowed. Ooh, the bear had to pause to bear his paws. This type of bear, Bear, is the animal. And this type of bear, Bare, is when you uncover something. This type of pause, Pause, is when you stop doing something for a moment. And this type of pause, Paws, that's what these are at the end of his feet. Hey, the elephant threw a pail through the big bale of hay. Wow. This type of hay, Hey, is when you're talking to someone, hey, trying to get their attention. This type of hay, Hay, is cut and dried grass that animals eat throughout the winter when there is no green grass available. This type of threw, Threw, is when you've hurled something in the air in the past. When you throw, it's the past tense of throw. You threw it. And this type of through, Through, is when you pass in between something. There you go. Have you read about the red fox who blew blue bubbles? This type of read, Read, is the past tense of read, which is also spelled Read. Isn't that crazy? And then this red, Red, is the color. This blue, Blew, is when you've blown through your lips. That's blue. And this blue, Blue, is the color. The giraffe's long neck lets him choose what he chews. This type of choose, Choose, is when you get to pick between two different things. And this type of choose, Chews, is what you do with your teeth when you've got food in them. The cows in the herd were in a good mood. I heard them as they mooed in harmony. This type of herd, H-E-R-D, is when a group of the same type of animals live together and eat together and are together constantly. This type of herd, H-E-A-R-D, is what you do with your ears in the past. I heard that. It already happened. This type of mood, M-O-O-D, is a feeling that you have. It's a general type of feeling, like you might have a happy mood where you walk around feeling really happy, or a sad mood. It just kind of settles all over you. This type of mood, M-O-O-E-D, is what the cows did in the past. Moo! I'm being silly, aren't I? Now this one's a little difficult. The bee flew away from the flea with the flu. And the bee can be sure that if he had the flu, the flea would flee too. That's quite a mouthful, isn't it? This type of flu, F-L-E-W, is the past tense for fly. The bee flew in the past. And this type of flu, F-L-U, that's the sickness. This type of bee, B-E-E, is the insect, the bee. And this bee, B-E, is a form of, it's a verb type of a thing. It's something that you do. This type of flea, F-L-E-A, is this kind of an insect right over here. They live on our cats and dogs, our pets, and other animals, and they make them itchy. This type of flea, F-L-E-E, is what you do when you run away from something. Flee is another word for run away. There is no news about the news. They keep to themselves. This type of news, N-E-W-S, is when you hear something that you didn't know before. You get some new information. This type of news, G-N-U-S, is this type of animal right over here. They're a wild animal and they look very similar to cows. Ant. You do have some very interesting new neighbors. I have a new neighbor too. Do you know about the hare with no hair? She's an expert on skincare. Love your dear. There we've got ant again. This is hair. Do you know? K-N-O-W is what you know in your brain. And this type of know, let's see where it is. N-O is nothing, no. And this type of hair, H-A-R-E, is an animal that is very similar to a rabbit. It's part of the rabbit family. And this type of hair, H-A-I-R, is what you grow on your head, or what animals grow on their bodies, that cover their bodies. Mammals have hair. Wasn't that a fun story? I sure hope you enjoyed it.